Christina Universe Citizen presents New Era Religion, episode 100, August 21st, 2022. Ubiquitously Understanding Us. Planet U's true democracy is a unique utopia, universal unity, ubiquitously understanding of us, humans of a mind. Because the individual design of humans is an eternal generalized principle, humans comprise an evolution species of the eternal omniscient mind, eon. Species biologically defines a group of living organisms that consists of similar individuals capable of exchanging genes or interbreeding, which is what world man, abbreviation for human, describes as an inherent regenerating ability that is thwarted by biases and cultivated traditions. The cultivated traditions educated each other in local tribes and clans with many reasons to shun interbreeding as a human species relative to the many long-forgotten nuances of territory and survival. In any event, humans are not something contrived by the human imagination's ignorant education. Ignorant educations traditionally cultivate self-perpetuating default slave mentality conditioning, induced by subconscious and ignorantly fearful cautionaries. The fearful revert automatically to predetermined options that represent the inherited hierarchies of dominant control. It omits awareness of pattern integrity of regenerating energy and synergy of universe. Such constant relative abundance typifies topology that describes energy. Energy comes from the stars. Our star sun is one such resource, and galaxies of stars that likewise are designed by the eternal omniscient mind everywhere that energy transforms environmentally. Energy is required to sustain the life of living entities, independent existence, the regenerating events that humans can conceptualize independent of its size. We can recall the definition of the word entity from Oxford University Press Dictionary and Thesaurus is a thing with distinct and independent existence. Perhaps thing coincides with the fact that each of us is a structure that cannot exist without gravitational coherence, even though we are mostly unaware of gravity and gravitational omnidirectional tension, totality in universe, and must persistently describe physical examples to better understand the principle. Synergetic 790.14. One such principle is the principle of universal integrity, which we can explore in Synergetics 231.00. It states that the wide arc tensive or implosive forces always encompass the short arc disintegrative forces. The forces are of universe and can be vectorially modeled so that the gravitational constant becomes conceptually useful conceptioning relative to what our forebears and world leaders maintain ignorance of. But as we can read, the potential comprehension is ever closely local to the conceptuality of the generalized content of information. Contemporarily, the energy event as vectors represent thought actions, thought reactions, thought resultants as the positive and the negative open triangles. When combined, the energy events not only illustrate the conceptuality of a closed system, the tetrahedron, but also the eternal generalized principle without which the system could not structurally exist. It is universe's minimum thinkable set, the minimum structural system, a basic mensural unit of nature's coordinate system that was discovered by R. Buckminster Fuller in the 20th century. Obviously, when the republic forms of government included democracy, this took form from the human imagination's emulative inclinations and need to comprise a governing system with some semblance of familiarity to the hierarchical authority that ruled the overlapping generations for hundreds of years. No such vectorial geometric thought language coordination occurred to the earlier innovative, inventive local problem solvers whose anticipatory projections remotely reached across the land and sea, drawn thus by intuition, scientifically acquired know-how and know-what of the elements from thousands of years of observation and evolution. Precise skills, while not known by everyone, but were known to the seafaring people. With those honed skills, such capabilities assured degrees of certainty that enough humans could survive the perilous journey. Hopes and dreams for a new way of life compelled their forward-directed motivations to risk everything. So great was the need to escape the tyrannical rulers who took every exploitable physical advantage, thus rendering the people slaves to the taskmaster. The layers of henchmen and slave drivers who in every town, village, city, and state suppressed the free-flowing energy. Even though it was not described as energy, it was expected to be the sovereign's property. The tendency to profit at the people's expense continues as exploitations in the value of doing harm are sloughed off, thus rendering what is mistakenly a democracy actually is a quasi-democracy. Quasi, meaning almost, but not quite. Seemingly, but not actually. Resembling, but not the realized form. The conceptual formulation instead would be a true democracy. Referentially to the energy unit, the regenerating pattern integrity of the generalized universe, to the degrees of measured freedoms and integral energy synergy. Evolution compels migration, and so it must be natural for humans to travel away from and toward another place, to take great risks in order to free themselves from whatever became intolerable relative to survival. The initial waves of migratory humans took various travel routes everywhere on Earth, as did the initial waves of settlers arriving at the New World, a comparatively freer environmental opportunity than the suppressions imposed on their natural inclinations to live and let live, to work and play, to plant and harvest, to fish and hunt for life-sustaining natural resources, to prepare various varieties of food, to survive the elements, to procreate and increase in number. People on Earth still exist as exploitable commodities. Lo, these hundreds of years later, and in variously contrived governing systems, none of which, however, would be ideal solutions for designing Planet U and the anticipatory design science's true democracy. Planet U is the utopia that does not omit what physics has found to always and only coexist integrally to, experiencing the most economical way systems behave relative to unity and self in universe. As we read, write, record, produce information sharing, audio and video podcasts, let us hypothetically apply the word design in Synergetic 790.01 for experimentally designing Planet U's true democracy. Systemic thought's referential field is the vectorial geometry that R. Buckminster Fuller devised. It provides the isotropic vector matrix, a cosmic hierarchy for the human imagination's inherent ability to formulate conceptually whatever our individual metaphysical generalized conceptual field of thoughts, awareness, senses from the disseminated physical information. So all the physical components, which each written word is, and all the vectors in the matrix field represent awareness of 6 lines, 4 corners where the lines bend, and 4 triangular openings, faces, windows, areas of the polyhedron, at minimum a tetrahedron. The tetrahedron is the geometrical topological system that can be conceptualized independent of size. It can be as minuscule as an atom or as large as any imaginable thing. Yet it is size alone that can come to zero, not the conceptuality. Clearly, metaphysical generalized conceptual field of thought is the metaphysical environment for conceptualizing the interrelating, interaccommodating, energy eventing, the regenerating pattern integrity that is essential for structurally coordinating anticipatory design science realities such as a true democracy as we continue designing Planet U. Imaginably, Planet U may someday be recognized by other planetary systems out there in the great cosmos as the exemplary, humanity's life-sustaining living environment. There is every logical reason to assume there may be such a conscious, omniconsiderate accomplishment. If so, it will be as a more perfect prototype for species survival within the permitted time humans are designed, in principle, to coexist in the universe of Eom as an evolution species, humans of the eternal, omniscient mind. Thank you for your individual focus, if that happens to be the case, and your continued interest and curiosity in Planet U and this important research project's subjective to objective, experiential, experimental, anticipatory design science intention to manifest a true democracy while exploring the prospects for designing Planet U as an evolution process of a predominantly metaphysical objective. Relevant links are provided at the end of the video podcast. It is a contributing effort to the universal communications and continuity of conscious life relative to my extrapolating those resources into these developing and ongoing essays. Every time I read or say continuity of conscious life, it reminds me of R. Buckminster Fuller's 1949 quotation from his essay Total Thinking. In quotes, the continuity of conscious life becomes personality as a product of complex periodic interactions known as cycles or periodic recurrences of a higher frequency order. And it seems to be the case today in year 2022 for individuals and the personality of a nation.